This is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com, and today I am going to do a review of the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind propaganda film that is actually one of the most far out documentaries that I've ever seen. It was produced by conspiracy theorist Dr. Stephen Greer. And it's a very anti-government, anti-Trump movie. Basically, the theme of it is to promote himself and the work that he does. Basically, watch his videos to learn more about it. He's extremely arrogant throughout this whole movie, but I'll get into a more detailed breakdown of it. He claims in this movie that the Pentagon and CIA are, quote, spin meisters, and that he alleges the U.S. Department of Defense is going around saying that UFOs are a, quote, horrible threat. I have seen all the documentation, all the videos of the U.S. Department of Defense narrative on the officially released UFO videos, unidentified aerial phenomenon from the US Navy and Pentagon recently, where they're basically saying there's objects in these skies. We don't know where they're coming from. We don't know what their intentions are. And there's basically nothing we can do to stop them at this point. All they've done is basically made us aware of the threats or these things in our atmosphere, which, yes, if they're not letting us know who they are before entering our airspace, they are threats. You would have to be a little crazy to be comfortable with this, but I believe he is a little crazy. He's definitely out there. Or either that, or he's a worker and he's working people to get more people to buy his movies, get more clicks on his YouTube channel, etc. Other things that he discusses is he says the Department of Defense is making these threats, allegations regarding unidentified aerial phenomenon as a boogeyman effect, quote, in order to create a one world government. So I'll be honest with you, I don't think the governments of the world under any circumstances are ever going to get together. There's way too much dysfunction in the governments. I'm not buying any of this. He says most mainstream media is admitting now that UFOs are real, but there is two narratives. He's saying the government narrative, as I've already said, is that they are a threat to our sovereignty. His narrative is that they are all here for peace. They only want to spread peace and love. And he knows this because they speak to him telepathically on a regular basis for the past 30 some odd years. However, for some reason, they have selected him as the guy to speak telepathically to. He is alleging there's people all over the world they're also speaking telepathically to. However, he is provided. I haven't seen any conclusive evidence in this movie at all. Here's something that I find insulting. He says that all abductions are pretty much stage abductions to lay the foundation for interplanetary conflict sometime in the near future. So basically, he's alleging that the government, these abductions, by the way, have been going on for decades, are faking abductions, having people with deformities basically dress up like aliens and fake abduct people so these people then can then come out with these stories that they were abducted by aliens to help promote hysteria over this situation. So I've interviewed Travis Walton, who is an alleged abductee. There's many alleged abductees out there with varying stories. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but to think that all of these abduction stories all over the world is the U.S. military bringing deformed people around dressed up as aliens with craft that the U.S. have duplicated to look like spaceships just to fool random people that they're being abducted. That notion is absolutely ridiculous to me. He's saying these are counterintelligence agencies that have the technology to fake it. And this is all to scare the public into the conceived and perceived notion of interplanetary war, to create the national security state so the U.S. can have full dominance over the world. Okay, buddy, I'm losing respect for you the more this movie goes on for. And then, of course, we know that cattle mutilations have been happening for decades, where basically all the blood are sucked out of these animals, organs are removed with a very precise precision. There's no traces of how these cattle are losing all their blood. It's everyone's up in the air. They've been investigated for decades. I'm actually going to have an expert on the subject on later this week to discuss it in more detail. So he says these cattle mutilations and so forth that have been going on, that's all the government as well, secretly making us want to believe that aliens are real. Now, many people that work in nuclear silos, officials and so forth over the years have reported that there's been a number of UFO sightings in relation to nuclear weapons. Some have even alleged that they've actually managed to turn off various nuclear weapons at various points in history. Some credible people have alleged this. Stephen Greer says, oh, that's nothing to worry about. They only mean peace. If they're playing around with our nuclear weapons, don't worry about it. They're speaking to me telepathically and saying they only need peace. So don't worry that these UFOs are flying over our nuclear silos, not just in the US, but all over the world. According to him, this is the government playing tricks on us all again. He believes that ETs are only trying to make people understand higher consciousness and have a universal mind. He believes they are concerned about our hostility and are trying to do things to contain it. So, according to him, they're reaching out to us through him. He's bringing it out. So click on his videos. He'll tell you more about it. Buy his movies. He'll tell you more about it. They put a guy on here from MUFON that alleges that the governments actually do have the technology to, quote again, take ET home, and that the physics of UFOs are only beyond our grasp as far as unclassified mainstream science goes. But as far as classified mainstream science, we've figured these out through secret programs. So the government actually knows how to travel at the speed of thought, but we're still flying around in jet-powered airplanes. These UFOs that the government is reporting can go up into the atmosphere, fly within our atmosphere, go up into space, and go underwater. But we still have submarines, rocket spacecraft and airplanes. So this is all just the rich people in the world controlling the world and keeping this technology from us, according to Stephen Greer. He also uses quotes from people that are passed away, such as Edgar Mitchell, to support his narrative, as if Edgar Mitchell was a supporter of his, which I haven't seen any documentation that he made any speech on behalf of Dr. Greer when Edgar Mitchell was still alive. It's possible, but one thing this documentary is really missing is evidence, scrutiny. There's lots of videos, tons of videos, no experts analyzing them. He has 3 pictures of alleged aliens. I've already done a separate video on it. Very blurry pictures. He says it's because they're only partly in our dimension. You got to show me some evidence. I'm not just going to take your word on all of this stuff. If you've been doing this for 30 years and this is the best evidence you can present me, I'm just not buying it. And as it gets funnier, as I said, as this movie gets on, it gets more and more ridiculous. He says he created a specific protocol with the extraterrestrials telepathically, claiming that these civilizations won't reveal themselves to the world unless the people practice the protocols he's doing. So watch his videos. They're not going to reveal themselves to the world unless you watch his videos, buy his movies, learn the protocols on how to connect with these beings. And then if enough of you do that, you're going to be able to connect with these beings, and suddenly they're going to reveal themselves to the whole world, and world peace is going to happen. So make sure you click on his videos. Don't forget that. He says he caused a sighting in Charlotte, North Carolina. He actually instigated a sighting involving pilots and air traffic control in 1977. And by the way, I've heard another lecture of Dr. Greer where he, not in this movie, but in another lecture, he also claimed that he instigated the famous Phoenix Lights mass sighting. So everything's because of Dr. Greer, okay? He is a god-like person. This is pretty much a cult that he's trying to create here, and he is the leader of this cult. He says that we should all do his protocol. So again, click on his videos, learn how to do these protocols, and you can make direct contact with them and telepathically tell them that we're friendly and we only want peace and the world is going to be saved. He says that we're dealing with civilizations that would look like magic to us, basically. We don't understand it because we're not advanced enough. I agree with that. There's a lot of stuff we don't understand, but I believe that he's trying to profit off of YouTube views, movie sales. You can say whatever he wants. He's lost me with this documentary. I actually felt some of the stuff he was saying in the past had some credibility, but he's lost all credibility with me with this out there documentary. And that's my opinion on it. My opinion of the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind documentary is that it's a load of bull crap. I'm sorry that I paid for it on YouTube Movies. And I hope that if anyone else is planning on watching it, wait for it to come out on Netflix or whatever. It's not worth the money of actually buying it. And I know that the people that want to believe in this crap from Dr. Greer, they're going to hate me. There's going to be tons of comments of them hating on me. There's also going to be tons of comments from religious people saying that all aliens are demons and others saying that aliens are angels. I am in the category that we don't know what they are yet. Yes, I believe that the government knows more than what they are telling us. And even the government representatives aren't fully denying that. We have senators going on record saying they're hearing stuff in closed meetings that the public doesn't know and that will actually shock the public. I believe that. I believe there's a reason some information is being withheld from the public. But the important thing is the disclosure part is starting. And you know what? Do your own research, come to your own conclusions, do what I'm doing. I will not take Dr. Greer at his word. I'm going to have to see more evidence. I'm going to have to see these UFO videos that he's showing actually broken down by video experts. It's very easy to fake videos these days. It's very easy with the technology we have to create fake pictures and so forth. So you're going to have to show me more evidence. I'm not just going to take you at your word for things. Sorry.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.